Hi, everybody, and welcome to tonight's webinar. My name is Anisha Grant. I am a senior advisor at CollegeAdvisor, and I will be your moderator today. Today's webinar is a special session on starting early to stand out, featuring the Global Youth Excellence and Leadership Program. Before we get started, just to orient everyone with the webinar timing, today we'll start with a presentation by a CollegeAdvisor former admissions officer. We'll switch over to a presentation from the Global Youth Excellence and Leadership Program, and then we'll open up to answer any of your questions through a live Q&A. On the sidebar, you can download our slides under the Handouts tab, and you can submit your questions whenever you get ready under the Q&A tab. But first, let's meet our first presenter, Natalie Herring. Hey, Natalie, how are you? Can you tell us a little bit about you and your background?
Absolutely. Thank you, Anisha. Thank you, everyone, for taking some time to join us. I have been doing college admissions for almost 30 years and have worked in particular with under-resourced groups, first-generation college students, and I worked at both highly selective and selective colleges. So I'm very excited to be here tonight.
Awesome. We're looking forward to hearing from you. I think we have a couple of polls. There's one that... Oh, yes, we're going to start with a quick little poll just to see what grade level everyone is in. Okay. So please let us know if you're in 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th, or 12th grade. If you're a parent or teacher, we welcome you. You can go ahead and select other. As we're waiting for some poll responses to come in, you obviously have worked at some really great institutions. I always want to ask people which one's your favorite, but I won't put you there. I will say, you know, what do you feel like is, I guess, one of the biggest lessons you learned from your history at a variety of institutions, especially in your 30-year, career? What is like the one kind of pearl of wisdom around starting the college process that you would want students to kind of take away before they jump into it?
Absolutely. I think the first thing that everyone should do is to sort of just take a deep breath. It is a big and important process, but the student and their family, they have all the answers that they need. And there are, programs like CollegeAdvisor and others and guidance counselors, etc., that can help navigate the process. But everything you need, you already have.
I love that. That's very nice. And it's very zen. I appreciate that, especially taking a deep breath. There are a lot of times when I feel like we often need to take a breath in the middle of the process. So I think that's a great way to start it off. And it's also just a lovely sentiment that you have everything you already need. So thank you for sharing that. Natalie, before we get started, putting us in a very, you got this kind of space. All right, I'll close. I went ahead and closed our poll. So we have a small group for right now. We have about 16 folks. 44% of them are in the 9th grade, so that makes sense. Some folks who are thinking ahead, wanting to start early. 19% are in the 10th grade. 25% are in the 11th grade. And then we have a couple of parents and teachers in the space. So mostly 9th graders with some sophomores and juniors as well. So just so you know, if that changes anything about how to contextualize your session. But I'll stop talking, hand it over to you, and be back a little bit later.
Thank you so much, Anisha.
Sure.
So what I'm going to try to do is not read to you. I know you are literate, but I'll try to sort of augment these slides. So first up, why do this early? It's a very detailed process, right? We have here that it's complicated. It's detailed. It requires your serious thought and consideration, but within each step, there's an opportunity to celebrate a win. Whether it's checking off an item on the to-do list, the realization that you know what you want, or discovering something new or unexpected. The second bullet here is particularly important. In real estate, the saying is location, location, location is extremely important and a big reason to start early. Also, be on the lookout for visit programs for applicants and or admits. Why should parents start early? Well, you as parents can set the tone. Decide what kind of college search experience your family will have. Encourage your child to take the lead, but make sure you understand the details. Ask questions. Make it fun. Which school sent mail today? Which ones emailed? Did you like any of those? Do you have questions? Well, I have questions, kid. And talk about your questions. Develop the internal know-how that you all will need to navigate the process. How can you evaluate fit? Fit is everything. And start developing your list. Think about what's important to you. So we've listed some of those things here, and we've talked already a little bit about location. Here's some other things that students tell me. Food, residence halls, right? So living with a roommate, that might be a new thing. Maybe you don't have siblings, or maybe your siblings and you each have your own room. Understand what is available and what is available at what time. Underclassmen may be housed in a different way that upperclassmen are housed. If you can get a chance to visit campus, grab a bite. See if the food is what you expect it to be. Think about some of the other extras that may not be on this list. Are you looking to study abroad? Are you looking for a great arts community? A diverse community? So think about all of those things. The other thing I want to encourage you to think about are also scholarships. So understanding what types of scholarships colleges and universities give. So what are the different components of the college admissions process? So basically, this is all about you. And one of the things that I like to say is, we've all been, well, hopefully we've all been, raised very well, and we're taught to be humble. And the college admissions process is no time for humble. This is your opportunity to really celebrate your strengths, to really articulate your hopes and your dreams, not only for your academic future, but for your professional future. So colleges want to know everything about you. Are you a first generation college student? I was. Is it a rural setting, an urban setting? Is it under-resourced, resourced just right? Grades and testing are a big part of what colleges are looking at. Your transcript is a 4-year profile of who you are as a student day in and day out. The testing can also be a little terrifying and stressful, but that's just one day. That transcript is going to show trends, and it's going to show how you challenge yourself. The personal statement is your writing, and it is one of the ways that your voice comes through in the process. And so it's that really, and the interview, where you have an opportunity to shape in sort of real time the admission officer's view of you. So what you do in the personal statement is you say, this is me, and this is how I plan to fit in, to stand out, and to add value. And then you let them know, I have done my research on this college, and so I know this is what I'll get in return, and I could not be more excited. That's what your personal statement is. School supplements. So the Common App, commonapp.org, has sort of streamlined applying for students. And they give all of the common information that every college and university needs to the colleges on your list. That said, schools still want to know that you know them, are interested in them, and want a little bit more information. And so that's what we mean when we refer to school supplements. One word about interviews. You can think that it's going to be terribly stuffy and scary, but unless you are painfully shy, say yes to an interview. Typically, it's not mandatory. It's optional. And it can be run by an alumnus of the college or university. This person loves their alma mater and loves the fact that you are interested in their alma mater. It's an opportunity to connect, to network, and to understand the college experience, not just for the 4 years, but for life after, and how the college sets you up for that. How can you sort of reflect your brand in your application? So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you are pursuing all of your academic interest. We fall into these little categories where, oh, I'm a math or a STEM person, or I'm an English or an arts person. It's all right for you to have main and minor academic interest, right? You might be a maker, you might be a gamer, lean into those things. You may love art. The other things that you can do is to go outside of norms. And let me explain what I mean by that. You can do some self-study. YouTube, Khan Academy, whatever you have, you can learn about something. There's also an opportunity to partner with 2- and 4-year colleges in your area. Maximize your summers. So we partner at CollegeAdvisor with an organization called Teen Life, and they are the gatekeepers of many summer experiences, job shadowing, internships, etc. So make sure that you have a plan for summers after 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. What are some of the milestones that you should hit during these first 2 years of high school? Getting involved is important. Come to understand what your high school offers, but also think about math. One of the things that I like to tell students is that I believe it's important that you can, to get through calculus if you can, if it's offered at your school. So think about the math you're taking in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Understand how each year builds upon the previous year. Have lunch. So there are some students who are pushing themselves so that they don't even have a lunch period. I want you to eat. I want you to have a break. And so make sure that you're sort of taking care of yourself. And then the last thing is understand time management from a high school standpoint. Understand your commute, your extracurricular activities, and the study time that each class requires outside of class. The other thing that you should remember is that no one is expecting you to sort of take an all or nothing approach, right? We as college admission counselors understand where you're coming from. We know your schools, we know what's offered. So challenge yourself, but don't stretch yourself too thin. You should be right at the cusp of a nice, healthy stretch. You're motivated, you're driven, you're interested, you're excited about the coursework, but don't overdo it. When you're starting out, especially early on the journey, keep in mind a couple of things. One is you have time to really understand the ACT and the SAT. They're not tests that you can study for, but they are tests that you should familiarize yourself with. You should understand the timing, the sections, the type of questions, that kind of thing. The other thing that you should do is understand that knowledge helps you steady yourself for test day. Okay. In terms of what the benefits might be, I think that the benefits of starting early for an admission process have everything to do with also celebrating your wins. You are graduating high school, you are taking APs, you are making excellent marks. And so make sure that you celebrate those things. You may be on the athletic field doing some of the same types of things. It is a big decision, but as I discussed before, all of the answers you have. You drive this decision-making process along with your parents. The other thing is There are 4,000 colleges in the United States. I know only anybody ever cares about is like the Ivy League. I totally get that. But it is possible, and it has been done, that outside of the Ivies, people graduate and lead wonderful, happy lives. Your college experience is what you make it. So now we are at another poll. And Anisha has jumped on to help us get through it. But where are you in the college application process?
So you could have not started quite yet. You're researching schools, working on essays, getting your application materials together, or be nearly done. Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation thus far. I really appreciated your approach to it. Again, your whole presence is very calming, so I can imagine that you're very good at this, at pulling people off the ledge and making sure they get through. So I think you're a great person.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. We can't make any decisions on the ledge, so we all have to come inside and handle it together.
What do you think people have stressed about the most that is actually not the thing they should have stressed about at all? Do you feel like you've had clients who
I feel like it's the financial aid. I think sticker shock is still a big issue. But I think what I would like parents and students to leave here tonight understanding is that when you see that big ticket price, there are often resources at that same level to make that college education affordable. And so we're talking about endowments, foundations, things like that. So don't let that sticker drive you mad. Just make sure that you apply for financial aid. I know the FAFSA is not necessarily everybody's jam. I get that, but we can help walk people through it.
Well, it definitely got better this year, I will say, the FAFSA. It was better around this time around. I know you're going to get into this, but I just wanted to linger for a second on you talking about, summer engagement and that being a positive sign for folks. And that's kind of what the rest of our presentation will be about. But I guess, I always have a challenge with students that summer after 9th grade, summer after 10th grade, I feel like a lot more opportunities become available the older they are. Yeah. So, what are some things that students can do after 9th grade, after 10th grade, especially if they can't get a job or, they don't have the resources necessarily to do an internship? I'm just wondering if you have ideas of how students can demonstrate that ambition, demonstrate that thoughtfulness in the earlier years where there may not be as many opportunities available.
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of things that folks might be able to do. One, if you are interested in any local companies, reach out and see if they would be willing to offer a job shadowing opportunity. If you're interested in any particular cause or project, see if you can volunteer. See if there's some community service. If there is a job that you are interested in, college look upon that favorably as well. Sometimes students are working, sometimes students have family responsibilities. And so the summer experience can be very diverse.
So it's not like, I think even with that, I think you calm down, like, it's not like you have to do some kind of structured thing. You can do things on your own, but taking advantage of. And I think today, in the conversation, we'll figure out what the field is, what's out there for you to be able to explore and what can connect you with different resources. All right. So I'll go ahead and close our poll. Thanks for folks for indulging in that conversation. Thank you for indulging in that conversation, Natalie. I was just curious. Okay, so just so we know where folks are in the process, 44% have not started. 44% are researching schools. I think given that we have a younger crowd, I think that's a perfectly good place to be.
That's right.
2 are working on essays and 2 are almost done. So congrats to the people who are almost there. Hope you are on top of it and you can enjoy your summer. Maybe do something fun this summer since you are almost done with your process. But okay, I'll stop talking and hand it back over to you and be back a little bit later. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you so much, Anisha. I appreciate it. So yes, summer programs. I am going to hand this over to my partner in crime, at least for tonight, who works with the Global Youth Excellence and Leadership Program. And it is a wonderful option for students deciding what to do to either help define their skills, add to their strengths, or really just enjoy themselves. So Hannah, the floor is yours. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Natalie. And I want to say thank you all so much for being here tonight with us and listening us in. As Natalie said, it's really important to start early and to celebrate the wins along the way. So thank you all so much, and let's celebrate this win tonight. So I want to first introduce myself. So I'm coming from an education background, education strategy background, and I have been exactly where you are today. I've been going through the college admissions process, doing all the applications, all the different various stages. And I was lucky enough to end up doing 2 degrees at the University of Oxford. I did a degree in history and I did a degree in education, particularly around comparative and international education. And then recently I have just come back to the UK from China, where I was part of the Schwarzman Scholars Program, which is this big master's program, which has about a 3% acceptance rate. So that was a very rigorous admissions process. And I ended up doing a master's in leadership and global affairs. So I'm really, really excited to be here and talking to you about how you can make your college application as strong as possible. So let's first address the question, how can we make sure, whether you're a student or whether you're a parent, how you can make sure that your application is something that stands out amongst everyone else and make sure that you are one of the top applicants applying to college. And our goal this evening is to explore how the Global Youth Excellence Leadership Program can empower you as students or empower your students, depending on whether you're a parent or a student yourself, through meaningful global experiences and leadership opportunities that support your academic development, explore and develop your personal development, and particularly if you're, lots of us are young on this call. Our GYEL program runs from grade 8 all the way up to grade 12, so it is something you can start early and really get going on developing your leadership skills. So the GYEL program is part of a larger UN, United Nations system, and it delivers the leadership, global engagement, and real-world impact that selective universities are often seeking. And while GYEL is not a college admissions program, its emphasis on global leadership, policy innovation, and hands-on projects has proved invaluable to many, many students as they shape their academic and career paths. So just going to a bit of overview about the admissions landscape here. So the admissions landscape is obviously getting more and more challenging. The percentage of applicants applying is increasing and those getting into the programs is shrinking. So you want to make sure that you are making your application as competitive as possible. And over the years, participants have leveraged their GYEL experiences, such as collaborations with diplomats, career-defining leadership experiences, and globally recognized certificates to make sure they've strengthened their college application and scholarship materials. GYEL support, including potential letters of recommendation and access to world-class mentors, helps highlight the dedication and capabilities of all the students that are part of our program. And our alumni frequently reflect on how the leadership training, global exposure, and practical insights gained through the GYEL program played a key role in showcasing their unique perspectives to admissions committees. However, it's important to note that we obviously do not serve as an admissions consulting service, nor do we guarantee any results, but it's all about the fact that you are developing your leadership experiences, your leadership skills, and therefore your potential in making positive impact in our world. So here's some data points for you. We've got 96% of parents would recommend the GYEL program, and the vast majority of the program finds the program really highly valuable and worth sharing with others. And more than 90% of parents felt that GYEL has helped their students stand out in applications to college and scholarship applications, as Natalie was saying earlier. And students receive positive feedback from career counsellors and college consultants, as well as 95% of students feeling incredibly excited about the direct engagement with global leaders whilst on the programme. Students have highlighted that the rare opportunities to interact with world leaders, UN officials and industry experts has been a huge joy of the programme. And 98% of students said they would recommend GYEL to a friend. Perfect. For additional questions, we've got a huge FAQ page on our website. And I want you to thank you in advance for taking the time to explore this and the GYEL leadership family. GYEL is a multi-stakeholder initiative operating within the UN system through formal institutional agreements between the coalition partners of the UN affiliate organizations and agencies recognized under the United Nations framework. And GYEL, our coalition partners, do not participate in a personal or unofficial capacity, but they represent their institutions in an official role as delegates, signatories within the UN system. So it's really exciting because we're part of a larger UN system and you can get involved in UN-style leadership. So each year, our mission and reach and visibility has grown and grown and grown, and leading to our recent role as Deputy Convener and Principal Partner of the UN Forum on Strategic Innovation for Impact, which was a live stream on the UN Web TV and hosted at UN headquarters in New York. And so we're really, really proud to have you all participate and join the GYEL program and join our family as we continue this legacy of youth-driven leadership development. When making decisions about your future as students or your child's future as parents, we need to be really thinking about how we can make really the greatest long-term impact. And so if we're going to break this down into 4 key areas, we've got 1 being college admissions and academic readiness, making sure that your application is as strong as possible, obviously opens doors, makes everything much, much easier going forward. Number 2 is all about extracurriculars and leadership experiences. And obviously, GYEL is just that. It's a meaningful opportunity to make meaningful change in your community. We've got various programs, opportunities to have volunteer experiences and develop your role as a leader in the community. 3 is avoiding missed opportunities. Without the right platform to showcase your strengths as students, you risk being overlooked. And the GYEL program is about targeting that. And the cost of inaction. Gaps in a student's high school preparation can limit their college perspectives and their career perspectives. And so through the GYEL program, we work really, really hard to make sure these priorities, providing both academic advantage and essential leadership skills, which often for young people like yourself, particularly if you're in grade 8 or grade 9, you won't necessarily have these opportunities in school. And so it's making sure you're given those opportunities to really develop and make real change. And this is not just about idealism, but it's about practical strategies that empower you as students, empower your children, if you're a parent who's got students who are applying to college, to make sure they succeed both now and in the future. So we created GYEL with direct input from people who shape student success, ensuring participants develop not just the right knowledge, but also skills and experiences that universities and future employers demand. GYEL's worked with universities and admissions officers, consulting with professionals from top global universities to understand what they look for in applications, where students often fall short, and how the GYEL program can bridge these gaps, can offer these opportunities the universities and admissions office are really after. Working with parents as well, and parents' first-hand experiences and insights to drive the program's focus in the immediate and the long term. Teachers, educators, and college prep experts all work with GYEL because university admissions are obviously a critical milestone to you as young people. And GYEL aligns with the core values that selective institutions really prioritize. As well as working with industry leaders in AI, in STEM, and other businesses at an international level, because by working with these cutting-edge innovation and innovators, we ensure that students can develop key skills that are useful in the workplace, key skills in AI and in Internet of Things and other emerging technologies to really ensure that you succeed in the workplace and exceed in the rapidly evolving world that we're all entering in, which is constantly changing. By integrating insights from these experts who actively influence education and industry and admissions, the GYEL program ensures that students are not just prepared, but they're highly competitive. And they're highly competitive individuals going forward beyond. So breaking down kind of the key benefits of the GYEL program, one of the only programs in the UN system for university success. So the GYEL program is within the UN system, and this therefore gives a different characteristic and different win. It means that it's unlike many programs, which obviously do focus on broad student development. GYEL is uniquely designed to help students stand out in competitive admissions. No matter what your field is, whether it's STEM or leadership, or entrepreneurship or sustainability, there's many, many, many aspects that fall under the UN system, and looking at the different sustainable development goals within the UN system as well. You've got the strategic college prep focus. So we collaborate with admissions professionals from top global universities to understand precisely what they look for and how they cultivate those traits in students, making sure that those are developed throughout the program. 3 is exclusive mentorship and global networking. Participants receive direct guidance from world-class leaders, from industry pioneers, coalition partners to the UN, opening doors to opportunities that can obviously set you apart in admissions, in your careers. It's a huge, huge opportunity. And then there is obviously proving results in college and scholarship success. A huge, over 95% of parents would recommend the GYE program for a reason. There's a vast majority found the program highly valuable and worth sharing. 93% of parents felt that the GYEL program helped their child stand out in their college admissions, their scholarship applications, and students received really positive feedback from career counselors and career consultants. And 5 is a gateway to a competitive future. We identify and invest in students with potential, ensuring that they gain the recommendations, experiences, and real-world preparation needed to thrive at the highest of levels. We are committed to excellence, we're committed to equity, and we support students from all socioeconomic backgrounds, ensuring that everyone has access to success based on effort, ability, and potential, not privilege. And the program's UN credentials and global network focused means from the moment a student is admitted, they gain international credibility, real project experience, and immediate recognition from universities and scholarships abroad. And the GYEL program is all about making sure students get that experience in real-world impact. Students will have access to doing various volunteering opportunities in their communities to make sure that they can really feel the tangible change they can make in their communities. It's all about merging yourself with tangible leadership achievements that admission officers obviously can take seriously, but also can develop yourself and your personal skills, because we all want to make positive change in the world. And finally, you've got the unbeatable essays and recommendation letters, because the GYEL mentors and instructors come with really top-tier credentials, including official UN affiliations, so that the recommendation letters carry exceptional weight. And of course, proof of leadership potential. Universities look for students who will become global change makers, and the GYEL program provides exactly that pathway, allowing students as young as in the grade 8 and grade 9 to participate, to demonstrate genuine leadership on an international stage at such a young age. It's an incredible opportunity. And simply put, GYEL is more than a program. It's a launch pad for universities, for meaningful careers, for global impact. And that's what we're all about, is creating global change and making a more positive future for us all. So while the UN primarily focuses on necessities like clean water and healthcare, our coalition partners recognize that higher education is obviously a hugely powerful tool for breaking the cycle of poverty and catalyzing global development. And GYEL's contribution to the UN system is to collaborate with universities to bridge the gap between providing a tailored program that aligns with the desires of the world-leading missions universities and equipping students with resources and knowledge and networks and opportunities, and ultimately securing their place in world-class institutions, where obviously you can continue developing and accessing further specialized education and building your career until you've created long-lasting impact. A program can be obviously well-intentioned, but that doesn't mean it's going to be addressing the immediate priorities of you all. And so without enrollment, we can't scale our impact or offer generous scholarships to students in need, which is obviously a core part of the UN's mission. Without scale, there's limited global impact. And at GYEL, we work within the system, aligning with the very metrics and credentials universities prioritize. The alignment allows us to reach more students and fund global impact projects and fulfill our share of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, which are a huge, big focus of our course. If you're searching for the missing link that can transform yours or your child's future in ways of college, obviously can't ignore the GYEL program. It was designed exactly for that, with that purpose in mind. And thanks to contributions from multiple institutions and former admissions officers, we built a program that directly responds to what universities explicitly value. And these are leadership and global awareness, real-world impact and collaboration, and high-level mentorship and external validation. Ultimately, GYEL is not just a credential, it's a transformative experience. It's about going beyond and really developing yourself as an outstanding applicant, but also an outstanding individual in our global world. So we've had overwhelming evidence from admissions authorities that we've got on the beautiful slide here. So according to the UCLA Higher Education Research Institute, over 80% of students at highly selective institutions participated in leadership activities during high school. Leadership experience is an essential part of a university application. Janet Rapley, the former dean of the admissions at Princeton, says that students who challenge themselves with leadership roles and global experiences bring valuable perspectives to our campus. And the Stanford admissions also say that students who take initiative beyond the classroom to address real-world challenges demonstrate a rare kind of readiness. These confirm the meaningful impact that leadership experiences have. And again, this is exactly the opportunity that the GYEL program offers. College boards found that international experiences and global awareness are among the qualities that the most elite colleges look for. And we're specifically looking for experiences that demonstrate a student's ability to collaborate across cultures. Seeking students who demonstrate intellectual curiosity and leadership and a desire to engage meaningfully with complex global issues. And therefore, the GYEL program addresses these priorities by offering cross-cultural projects, offering you the opportunity to network with international students, and giving you the global exposure and collaboration that these colleges crave. And the GYEL students obviously lead global projects, often presenting to UN affiliate bodies, creating unique experiences like policy proposals, cross-border teamwork projects, and lead to essays that no other applicant can replicate. Our students collaborate across continents, building true cultural fluency, and connects to UN advisors and global experts along the program, not just local volunteers. And the GYEL participants produce tangible deliverables by the end of the program, such as policy memos, partnerships, presentations, demonstrating real-world outcomes. And so I'll go on to say that we've got various key speakers. So aligned with the overall, the UN, we've got the UN coalition partners at the GYEL program. So first being HE Ambassador David Sanchez, the permanent observer to the UN, the United Nations. And Ambassador Sanchez is a representative, is a very highly respected diplomat who works with world leaders, US departments, and international organizations to advance youth empowerment and sustainable development, perfectly reflecting GYEL's global mission. We've also got the HE Ambassador Carlos Garcia, the Chief Representative of OPAD and ECO SOC status to the UN. With over 25 years in the UN system, Ambassador Garcia has led initiatives on poverty reduction, climate change, and the SDGs, offering the GYEL students an unmatched perspective on high-level diplomacy. And finally, got Dr. Plaza, the Secretary General, IAAI Strategic Directive, and the Climate Change Coalition. A leader in climate action and digital innovation, Dr. Plaza brings cutting-edge solutions for sustainable development, showcasing how technology can accelerate global impact. These are obviously three incredible leaders that the students will have opportunity to be part of this larger GYEL family. And then we also have various guest speakers, including Mr. Kevin O'Leary, investor, venture capitalist, Shark Tank personality. Known worldwide as Mr. Wonderful, Kevin has a wealth of entrepreneurial insights, perfect for inspiring our GYEL students to think boldly, to think innovatively. We've got Dame Diddy Wong, knighted UN speaker, award-winning entrepreneur and Hollywood producer, a champion of women in business. Dame Diddy's experience ranges from venture capital to Hollywood production, showing our students the power of global entrepreneurship. Mr. Kenneth Harris, senior NASA D&D engineer and James Webb Space Telescope leader. Recognized by Forbes for his groundbreaking leadership at NASA, Kenneth exemplifies how dedicated in STEM can lead to world-changing discoveries. Mr. Wes Walker, a Stanford alumni, award-winning director, and Super Bowl commercial creator, Wes combines a Stanford neuroscience background with film innovation, having directed for major brands like Audi and Gatorade, proving that creative thinking can come from any discipline. And you can see some further ones on our slide. And then the other part of the program is obviously our incredible instructors who the students will work with through webinars and office hours and group discussions. So you've got Miss Megan from Columbia University, and Megan has earned her master's in public administration and sustainable development from Columbia University and has taught in Spain, Costa Rica, and Taiwan. She's also advised on global initiatives from MasterCard Foundation's Young Africa Workers to US aid projects, making her an invaluable mentor to international development and social impact. Got myself, Hannah, who's a sportsman scholar and has 2 degrees in Oxford, one being in international education, and has previously worked as chief of staff to a top international school in Beijing. And I brought my wealth of experience in leadership to the program and guiding the students through their GYEL experience. And also got Ms. Ananya from Yale University. Ananya received her master's from Yale School of the Environment and has consulted for the UN agencies on climate adaptation, with experience from WWF and teaching fellowships at Yale, and specializes in sustainability, disaster risk reduction, and integrating innovative solutions that empower the youth to take part and tackle global environmental challenges. So overall, the GYEL program is designed to enrich students' growth in ways that resonates beyond university admissions, beyond the qualities that you need to lead and in such an interconnected world, by enrolling students authentically demonstrating their initiatives, authentically demonstrating their ability to solve real-world challenges, and obviously endorsements from recognized international figures. Participants leave the program with authentic experiences and accomplishments and a global network that reflects their values, reflects your commitment and your qualities that resonate strongly with obviously so many academic and professional settings. So in terms of making, next steps, we're thinking of the outcome that matters. Even partial scholarships at top colleges can offset your investment many times over. And we want to make sure that you boost your child or your own success rate in your scholarships and college admissions. Got to be thinking about this. The admissions deadline's coming up. Obviously, we need to try and, as Natalie was saying, get ahead of the game, starting early for the best success. And the GYEL program itself has a rolling admission deadline, and it works hard to maintain a really limited cohort size to preserve the quality and intimacy of the experience. And therefore, 1 in 5 students are accepted to the program. And so applying early is recommended and it increases your chances of being part of the GYEL program. In terms of our enrollment policy, obviously personal circumstances might come up and might require you to unenroll, which obviously you may do so at any time with a full refund of your administration fees. And please note that no GYEL completion certificate can be issued for partial attendance, and future participation would require a whole new application. But overall, you've got to really hold in your mind how transformative the GYEL experience is. Imagine your child writing an essay about tackling climate change with peers from around the world, or receiving praise from a UN advisor. The pride, the future doors it opens is priceless. And in terms of making sure this program is accessible, our total program fee ranges from $0 to $5,500, and we offer generous scholarships so that no family pays more than their 2.5% of their household income for the GYEL program. So families can contribute only what's manageable to them, and no student will be turned away for financial reasons. So I hope that you can join part of the GYEL program, become part of our GYEL family, and feel free to scan this QR code that has come up for further information. And there's lots more further information on our website. And so to finally summarize, universities demand more than perfect academics nowadays. They want global engagement. They want demonstration of you being real leaders, real change makers. And GYEL wants to make sure that you meet these criteria through UN-backed projects at top-tier recommendations letters and distinct essay topics. And so we really want to create this GYEL family to support you in these applications, and early applicants get priority onto the program. We've got a full refund policy and needs-based tuition. And so obviously this ensures that every qualified student can get access to the GYEL opportunity. And if the GYEL's mission aligns with you or your child's ambitions in the future, obviously you're highly encouraged to take the next steps and follow this QR code and get onto our website and reach out with any questions. Thank you so much. Look forward to some of your questions that are coming up.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah, for that overview of GYEL. We're going to get started with questions. I think we can go back and leave your QR code up there for a second as I kind of just get through the next section. So we're going to move on to the Q&A portion of our webinar tonight. Just for some context, the way that it will work, you can go ahead and paste your question into the Q&A chat. I'll read it aloud to give our presenters an opportunity to respond, and then paste it in the public chat as well so that everybody can see it. If your Q&A tab isn't letting you submit questions, just double check that you logged into the webinar through the custom link in your email and not through a webinar landing page. You might have to log out and log back in. All right, so we'll leave the QR code up because our first question is about GYEL. And it's a straightforward question. The question is, what is the time commitment for GYEL? So how long are students in it? How do they participate in it? Or not how do they participate in it? How much is the time commitment while they are participating in it? Sorry.
Well, that's a fantastic question. So the GYEL program runs across a 16-week period, and the time commitment in terms of a fixed time period is you come to 3-hour webinars with me or another instructor. And then there's drop-in office hours throughout the week. And then there's overall bi-weekly, or we would say fortnightly in the UK, fortnightly homework assignments that you end up working on, which come in different formats. The students are currently working on a kind of Shark Tank pitch to align with the guest speaker, Kevin O'Leary, coming up at the moment.
That's the next question just have for you of how do students kind of showcase their projects and achievements after the program ends? Can you talk a little bit more about the showcase aspects of it?
Absolutely. So as the program goes along, we showcase, I can hear a very large echo, the program gives you feedback on every single assignment provided, and you do group work with your fellow GYEL students, talking through your work, whether your peers have feedback, the instructors will give you feedback, and then it will all build up to at the end of the 16 weeks. You will hopefully bring all together all the different skills and experience you have developed and knowledge on the SDGs of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, and then you will give a presentation on a project that you'll be developing outside in your community. And then GYEL can provide support in that to make sure that you can become, going forward, an ambassador of the GYEL family, and you can end up really developing that out in your community and making long-lasting change.
Last question I'll ask, and I might reword it, it is, how prestigious is the program? But I'll ask, I guess, better, how competitive is the program? How do you work to set up students in order to be successful after the program? So I guess those are the two. How competitive is it? And then how do you work to ensure student success afterwards?
Absolutely. So the program, it has about a 20% acceptance rate. So kind of 1 in 5. You obviously can reapply and your application doesn't impact your previous one. So you don't need to panic about that. But it has about a 20% acceptance rate, which obviously is pretty competitive. And it obviously is still a part of the UN's larger system. And so we've got many, the GYEL's primary coalition partners to the UN hold official UN credentials and security clearances, and they will be working with students and being able to provide letters of recommendation. So using the program connections with the UN, you obviously can take that as far as your ambition allows for. So it's the power to make change globally is in your own hands from the program.
All right, thank you. I'm going to switch gears just so we get some admissions questions in. So I'm going to move on from the QR code, but the QR code is still available for folks if you want to download the slides on the handouts tab. You can see it there, just so you don't lose it. But just to move forward with our conversation, I guess my next few questions will be for you, Natalie. So someone asked, what if my interest in a certain field or discipline changed throughout high school, and they influence my choice of college or degrees? Is that bad? If my previous interest is described in an essay and is not necessarily, I think when I summarize it too, they have had a variety of interests. They would like to write about it, but what they're writing about in their essay may not be reflected as to what their major is, and is there a point of conflict there? That's how I'm interpreting the question. So what are your thoughts there about variety of interests versus what you declare on your major versus what your high school transcript might say about your interest?
Absolutely. I think that these can be separate and distinct events. One of the reasons why is because Everybody at 17, or even at my age, 152, they don't necessarily know what they want to do and be. And so your personal statement is going to be that moment in time. What are you most passionate about? Take the time in high school to explore different interests, but do note that colleges do want to see you commit to a few things in sort of several years succession, 3 years, 4 years, that kind of thing. You won't declare a major typically until your sophomore year. The first year is for exploring. For some very competitive programs, especially engineering and niche majors, you may have to declare that as an applicant. But that's a part of your college search to decide, can I come in undecided, or do I have to declare a major?
Okay, thank you. My next question for you, again, I'm interpreting the question, but I'm going to ask, I guess, what is the impact of applying early on college admissions?
Sure. There are a couple of different strategies and or programs for early admission or early action. So let me explain. There is something called early decision, and typically that's binding. So if you apply to a college or a university as an early decision student, what you are saying is, it is this college or bust. I love this place. I'm sure of it, and I am going to attend. There's something called early action where you can apply and they'll notify you early, but it's not necessarily binding. And then there's regular decision where you learn your fate, typically in mid-April, and have to get back to colleges by May 1. And of course, lots of variations and gradations in that early action and early decision sort of milieu. Remember, you can be admitted early, you can be deferred for a regular decision, or you can be not admitted as an early decision student. So there is some risk, but it does tend to show that you are extremely interested.
I'm sorry, you said two things that distracted me, which is milieu, which was a great use of the word, and then you were 152, which was like, that's absurd, you look great. But anyway, my next question for you.
Anisha, thank you.
That's why you stay hydrated. All right, my next question is for you, Natalie, and then I'll try to end with a question for the two of you. So the student, I think I'm interpreting the question as having a little bit of panic in it, but I apologize if I'm wrong. They said, what do you think I should prioritize? I'm currently a junior. I want to stay in my city to participate in programs that will better prepare me for college, like Questbridge or SAT prep. And I've done a lot of extracurriculars, but my parents want to travel to their home country this summer. And so what should I be placing more of my time in? I think she feels that perhaps as a junior, her time is limited this summer and isn't sure where to kind of, or this is I think this is a male. He is not sure where to place his energy, given kind of the upcoming summer. So what are your thoughts of like what to balance that summer right before senior year?
Well, I think the opportunity to travel with family to the home country is something that should be valued. Family time should be valued. And it sounds like that this young man already has spent some time developing his resume, developing his brand, different activities. He's already sort of outlined some community programs to help, whether or not it's Questbridge. And so there's still, though, an opportunity to see if there's something that he can do in the home country. And so see if there are, for instance, global programs that students can still take part in and see different parts of the world. But I would encourage him to sort of equate some balance between family time and college admissions stuff. Both of those can coexist.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I don't want to already overburden what it seems like an ambitious students, but I have had some students who spend the summer trying to do volunteer initiatives when they have to go out of the country, and that being a thoughtful way to kind of continue pursuing their interests, though while not at home, obviously it's going to be a short term. But there are a lot of things. I love that suggestion of like thinking about what you can do while you travel with your parents. It doesn't have to be kind of on the script of things you've already been doing. All right, what will be our last question? And it is kind of directed to the both of you, but the student is planning on doing 2 years at a community college before transitioning into a 4-year university. She was wondering how would that impact her candidacy for GYEL. So I'll let you take that first, Hannah, and then afterwards she was wondering how that would impact her competitiveness for colleges. So Hannah, if you can start us, how does the community college pathway impact students' pursuit of GYEL?
So GYEL's core mission is all about making sure we create this global, diverse group of young leaders who really want to pursue making impactful, positive change in their community. And so, whatever your educational background is, that is something that the GYEL program will accept and will celebrate. And so, it's just making clear in your application why you want to be a global leader. And it obviously, whatever your journey and your story is to get there, that is yours, and you should own it and celebrate it, and the GYEL program will do so too.
Absolutely. Ditto to what Hannah just said. Thanks for bringing up the community colleges. This is a really smart and affordable way to take care of the first 2 years of college. All schools, mostly all schools, are admitting, transfer students. Again, there might be some niche or some very competitive majors that maybe you're not taking transfer students, but those are easily sort of accounted for. If you are looking for a way to stay close to home, save a little money, figure out where you want to go to college, here's an opportunity to keep moving forward and have that transfer over to whatever college you would like to attend. And they are more than welcome and ready to get transfer students to apply, to admit them, and to orient them to the campus so that they can be successful and be retained and graduated.
Thank you so much. Thank you to both. You shared a ton of information that was really, really helpful and insightful for me. Thank you for spending a little bit extra time to make sure we got through a few of the questions. Thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. That will be the end of our webinar. We hope that you join us for our future sessions, and we hope that you gain some tips on starting the college admissions process early and learning a little bit more about the Global Youth Excellence and Leadership Program. Until then, take care and have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.